So here we go, the Logitech K400 Plus, and you get a representation of what it looks like there. We'll actually see it in person in a second, but let's see what it says on the back here. Built-in touchpad, which is what you found on the K400. 10-meter range, which is actually good if you're going to be using this as a home theater PC keyboard, which I'm going to be using it as. And that's going to give you quite enough space to, type and do whatever you need to do, unless you have a very, very large living room area, which 10 meters is way larger than what I'm going to be using. Familiar media-friendly key layout. We'll take a look at that in a second. Plug and play. You have the little wireless dongle that you plug into a USB port, and an 18-month battery life. That's a long time. So let me get the seal open on this. You see the Logitech K400 Plus branding on the back there. You get the little USB dongle here, and it looks like all the other Logitech USB dongles. This is actually a universal dongle, so you can actually use it for several Logitech devices. It's actually a receiver for several different devices. So if you, let's say, wanted this keyboard here, but sometimes you wanted a dedicated mouse, as long as it's a Logitech mouse, you could actually do that if you wanted to. Which would come in handy if you want to play some video games on your PC attached to your television set, which is something I might try out, but we'll see. For the time being, I think this is going to be perfect for my setup. So just for reference here, you see the K400 Plus and the predecessor, the K400. They're exactly the same size, width-wise. You can see the layout is very similar. The keys are the same size, except, like I said, my gripe has been taken care of. The shift key down here is a regular size. Up here, it's this tiny one button over to the corner. And the arrow keys, which I don't use very often, are relegated to this area here, and the up and down arrow keys actually split the size of one key, even though they are two individual keys there. So I think this layout is going to work for me much better. Another change that you might notice is that the volume keys on the K400 are up top here, and they're over here over the keypad, or over the touchpad on this side over here. You still have that left click mouse button in the same spot, although the key is larger on the K400 Plus. And the function keys are labeled differently on the K400 Plus. You actually have dual functions on them. Now let's get this sticker off of here, so you can see what they actually look like. This says, control your PC to TV entertainment from your couch. So this is made for being a lap board for home theater PCs. Let's just take a look. They seem to be the same size in all aspects, in width, in height. The mold that they use for both devices is extremely similar. Even the back over here on the K400 is very similar to the back on the K400 Plus. The size of the four rubberized feet are a little different, but you still have that lip in the back. The battery compartment is a little bit smaller on the K400 Plus, but again, you get the idea that they're very similar. This is just an upgrade on this keyboard here. Now, if you've been following my channel, my most recent home theater PC keyboard is the Logitech TK820, and it's really not made to be a lap board like the K400 is, but I've been using it as that because it has such a large touchpad area. And at the time, I had Windows 8.1 Plus on my home theater PC because I thought that the interface worked a little bit better for a couch situation with the live tiles and everything like that. So I wanted to take advantage of the gestures that you can actually use in Windows 8.1. Unfortunately, I found with this keyboard, again, it's not made necessarily to be a lap board. Of course, you can use it as such, as I have been, but that's not the intended function of it. So the weight of it, it's a more hefty keyboard. It has a premium feel on the keys, which is really nice. So it's something that's more for a desktop situation when you don't want to use a mouse. And when I used it as my lap board or my keyboard for my home theater PC, I found that the weight was not annoying, but I don't use a keyboard a lot for my home theater PC. And so I stow this in a drawer under my couch. So whenever I have to use it, I have to go grab it out. And usually I grab it on the mouse end, and it's a little more, the construction, because of the large mouse on this side, the construction is not as strong as it is on the key side. So when I lift it out this way, and sometimes I might grab the touchpad and put an input onto the screen that I don't want to. And I also found that the gestures, although interesting with Windows 8.1, were something I didn't really use, number one, and number two, sometimes they got in the way of me operating my home theater PC. So a lot of times there'd be a lot of unintended clicks and unintended things that I'd be doing with the gestures. So I actually turned off the gesture support on this lapboard and just started using it as a regular lapboard. So I always loved the K400. I thought it was a perfect home theater PC lapboard keyboard, and I saw that they came out with the upgrade here, so I'm going to be using this instead of this. So let's take a closer look at the Logitech K400 Plus. The keyboard is a very dark gray color, and it has yellow accents on it, which I think is nice. It looks understated, but it has these little accents that give it a little pop there. I'm very familiar with the form factor, and I think it does what it does extremely well. Again, to mention the upgrade, I think the Shift key, which was my only complaint on the previous keyboard, they fixed that problem here. The key presses seem very similar to the K400. Not as premium as the TK820, but it doesn't feel cheap either. The touchpad area here isn't very large, but in my previous experience with the K400, you don't really need it to be that big. I think this keyboard makes all the right compromises for a home theater PC setup. You want it compact enough that you can, stow it away easily, grab it easily, but large enough that you can type on it easily and do everything you need to do on it control-wise. The click of the mouse buttons feel fine. The media keys up here are good. Taking a look at the back, it's all the same color. As you saw, the K400 was black on the front and white on the back. This one is gray all the way around. On the back you have 4 rubberized feet. Again, the Logitech K400 branding. And then you have the battery compartment here. Now, one thing I like about the K400 and now the K400 Plus is that you actually have a little space here for the dongle, the wireless dongle. So, if you're not using this keyboard, you can always just stow this away in here, like that, and then close it up, so that it's self-contained. If you're ever going to be doing a move, or you're just going to use this in a travel situation, because you could use this with an Android device. If you have an on-the-go adapter, you could use this with your phone if you wanted to. So it's a very versatile keyboard. You don't only have to use it for a home theater PC setup. So if you're going to be doing a lot of traveling with this, it's a self-contained unit, and then you just open this battery compartment back here. There we go, hard to do with one hand. And there's your wireless dongle there, which is cool. Now it takes 2 AA batteries here, and here is the little plastic thing you need to pull out to initiate them. I popped one of the batteries out, so that's an easy fix there. And let's close this up. There we go. Some cat hair on there. So I really think this is going to be a good keyboard and a good solution for my home theater PC. Again, I went with the TK820 and I thought it was good, but it did have a couple of pitfalls for the application that I don't think it was. Obviously, it wasn't built for that, and it was just something that didn't totally work out. So that's going to do it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please post them down below. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And as always, if you want to help out my channel, you can give me a thumbs up, You can favorite this video, you can share this video, you can leave me a tip on my YouTube page, or you can actually join my Patreon. All will be extremely appreciated. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.